So we couldn't even go a day. We could not even go a day without an article like this coming out.
Caitlin Clark, according to another WNBA official, is detrimental to the league. Is it unexpected that the person who has had a significant role in WNBA promotion is now being criticized? The player, who should be pleased that the sport is receiving more exposure, claims that things have gotten worse since Caitlin Clark and her opponent, Angel Reese, who was selected by the league and the media, entered the picture. According to her, the league has become more toxic for players since the Caitlin and Angel show debuted. Caitlin, poor thing, simply can't seem to win. She breaks records by bringing vigor to a league in severe need. What does she receive? Her name was dragged through the mud as a result of such attention. That's what it's like to feed a starving town and then get criticized because some of the visitors had indigestion. I'm not here to ridicule this gamer. She has the right to express her views. She's not entirely wrong. There have been many negative reports since Caitlin and Angel's rivalry from their undergraduate years continued into their professional careers, but she is definitely missing a vital element. Caitlin's own complaints do. In fact, some would confirm one of the claims made by her most outspoken fans during all of those Twitter arguments. I'll walk you through the complexities of this vicious cycle. You'll see why I don't think this drama will end very soon until the WNBA players make one big change. Let's get started. Subscribe first to receive the latest updates about Fever and Caitlin Clark. This season is going to be amazing. Consequently, the following is true.
Been phenomenal in the last 7 days. Clark, step back, hits a three.
At the moment, the WNBA is seeing an unprecedented surge in popularity. TV ratings have soared, venues have sold out, and social media is buzzing since Caitlin Clark's arrival. After graduating from college, she gained a lot of popularity and introduced the WNBA to many new fans. Her clash with Angel Reese in the 2023 NCAA championship game not only made both athletes renowned, but it also produced an intriguing story that the league was eager to capitalize on. For a league that has struggled to draw fans in the past, this was practically a dream come true. There was already a rivalry between two teenage superstars from that well-televised college tournament. The sport was born out of what could be called a bird versus magic encounter between two opposing personalities. During March Madness, how many games does a rivalry last? Absolutely not. Anyway, it was exploited by the league. The extra attention hasn't always been helpful, of course. Other seasoned WNBA players and fans find the incessant Caitlin hype annoying, and others even see it as a danger. Several of Caitlin's fans, and even onlookers, have responded by pointing out the WNBA's flaws. The result? You should take a shower after reading these controversial social media messages and comment sections. This brings us to the latest WNBA complaint. According to Shakira Austin, the league may be growing, but with Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese in the mix, the atmosphere has gotten uglier. It's definitely gotten worse in the last year, she said in a recent interview with Us Weekly, the publication you consult when the grandmother in front of you tries to pay for her one onion with a personal check. Caitlin's and Angel's relationship is starting to get out of hand. To begin with, she is not blaming Caitlin or Angel. She is also correct when she says that the WNBA is surrounded by a hot climate. Feuds, fan wars, and cultural disputes have increased more than ever since the Caitlin versus Angel scandal started. The issue is that many of the negative characteristics that are emerging aren't occurring in a vacuum. In fact, part of it has come from the WNBA community. Yes, including both the players and the owners themselves. Let's take a step back and consider who is genuinely fueling this flame. First off, it's not like Caitlin Clark woke up and told her fans, "Go forth and tell WNBA players how much better I am and how much better I've made the league." She's just out there dropping 30-foot bombs and making SportsCenter highlights. You have to think some of it is because they personally feel under attack, or players and media are trying to dismiss or diminish Caitlin's accomplishments when they know the only reason they are watching is because Caitlin brought them there. And who's attacking them? Ironically, members of the WNBA community that Caitlin's popularity is helping.
But the craziness that came with the new fandom was rooted in something other than fandom, right? And I think that's very evident to see across the board.
We got players, owners, and media all taking turns spinning this narrative that Caitlin's hype is somehow unfair or artificial. And sadly, they sometimes drag race into the mix. They won't usually say Caitlyn doesn't deserve it outright. Her talent is obvious. But they'll imply that the real reason she's so popular is because she's white and that her fans are cheering for her pigment, not her play. Which begs the question.
Racism, right? It gets blown up and, oh, they're going after Caitlin Clark, but no. We're just playing one of the best players that's in this league the way that any other player, franchise player is going to get.
Why are they showing the same support for Breanna Stewart or Paige Beckers? Does anyone have a problem with that? Well, one person does. More on that in a minute. Anyway, here are just some recent examples. WNBA champion Natasha Cloud went on a podcast and strongly suggested some of Caitlyn's fans weren't there for basketball reasons. Hey, are you aware of the controversy surrounding Caitlyn's hard fouls from the previous season? She said plainly,
just the structure of the way media plays out race. I'm going to be very honest. I feel really bad because I've seen so many players of color that are equally as...
Sheila Johnson, a co-owner of the Washington Mystics, said the following about the Caitlyn Clark effect after she was chosen as Time Magazine's Athlete of the Year. When Caitlyn was in town, ESPN analyst Monica McNutt told the BBC that she didn't mind taking advantage of the hype and upgrading to WNBA arenas, and she's doing it again this year. She said that part of Caitlyn's appeal is that she's a white girl from the middle of America. You'll hear similar opinions if you turn on sports TV. And then, the cherry on top, you've got former NBA player Eaton Thomas writing a piece in The Guardian calling out Caitlyn Clark supporters for not showing the same love to Paige Beckers because of her social advocacy. He made it clear this isn't Clark's fault at all, but still went straight to our town when describing her fans. Now, imagine being a Caitlyn Clark fan. You just hopped on the WNBA bandwagon because Caitlyn Clark's jaw-dropping game got you hooked. You're buying tickets, jerseys, you're boosting ratings, exactly what the league has always wanted. And suddenly you've got players and pundits telling you that you're only here because of some great white hope narrative. How would you react? You'd probably get defensive. You'd clap back. And often, clapping back turns into exactly the kind of nastiness we're talking about. So yeah, we've got a bit of a self-fulfilling prophecy here. Certain WNBA figures keep implying Caitlyn's supporters are cheering for Caitlyn based on color. When they respond by trashing the league or its players, it's yep, see, these new fans are awful. Round and round it goes. Alright, so we've got players, owners, and media stoking the fire by making everything about race or respect, and fans responding by going nuclear. What does that response look like? Often, it comes as dumping on the WNBA itself. You'll see some of these new fans sneer that nobody cared about the WNBA before Caitlyn because it just wasn't worth watching. 18 points and 8 rebounds. And that's one way. I know the WNBA players don't like to hear this, but it's the truth. Caitlyn is dynamic and brought a level of skill and excitement needed to attract casual viewers. When players start downplaying her impact, they pull out the clips and say, "This is why I wasn't watching before." In the case of Angel Reese, they'll show her, well, clips like this. And it wasn't until Caitlyn Clark started doing this in college that many fans took another look at women's basketball. And it gets even worse when some of the game's most respected leaders complain about her spotlight. Case in point, Minnesota Lynx star Nafisa Collier even said it's kind of crazy that Caitlyn's Indiana Fever have more nationally televised games this season than the defending champion New York Liberty. This is not outright hatred toward Caitlyn, but there's an undercurrent of resentment from some players who've been grinding in this league for years with far less fanfare. They see arenas suddenly selling out only when Caitlyn comes to town, see the media focusing on her every move, and they feel a bit overlooked. And you know what? That's understandable. The irony, though, is that while they grumble, they're also benefiting big time. For example, teams are moving games to bigger arenas just to accommodate the Caitlyn Clark fan invasion.
I was just about to say same thing for Angel Reese when I had a chance to cover their games, but I think Caitlyn represented, and again, some of this to me probably is not to her because it was not anything that she said or was truly based on her personality, but she was a white girl from the middle of them.
Those games are breaking attendance records, and even the home team players get to enjoy the packed house and extra revenue. Owners are cashing bigger checks. And when the next collective bargaining talks happen, players can point to this surge, largely sparked by Caitlyn, to argue for higher salaries. You can't really have it both ways, folks. If you're going to enjoy the spoils of the Caitlin Clark effect, you might have to swallow of pride and accept that she's kind of a big deal. Now back to Shakira and the toxicity in the league that has escalated due to Caitlin and Angel. Yes, there are trolls. There's some hate that has no place in the league, and it's coming from both sides. But there's one thing that seems crystal clear. The toxicity, to some extent, seems desired. White, one black, and so we have that moment with these two. But the one thing I know about sports, you need rivalry. That's what makes people watch. They want to watch. Why does the WNBA's commissioner, Kathy Engelbert, single out color as part of the Caitlin and Angel rivalry? Why does that aspect of these two players matter?
18 points and 8 rebounds. And that one way.
Pipeline. You have Olivia Pepperdine is keeping her team alive tonight. Stewart, nice fake.
If we've learned anything in the social media age, controversy gets clicks. The media loves a good catfight, a good divide narrative. Caitlin versus Angel, and more broadly, Caitlin versus the WNBA is a storyline that writes itself and racks up views. So of course some outlets and personalities lean into this. As counterproductive as it is in so many ways, it drives engagement. Alright, so we've painted a pretty wild picture. Players and owners grumbling, media stirring the pot, fans feeling attacked and firing back even harder. It's messy, but weirdly enough, you know what it all signifies? That the WNBA has finally made it onto the big stage. As Hall of Famer Cheryl Miller said to the naysayers,
Championship game.
She has more size and length.
Clark, you bet. 3:30 to go in the first quarter. Clark looking to turn the corner.
all this noise, even the negative stuff, is proof that people are actually paying attention now. Think about it. Nobody was having massive fights about the WNBA a couple years ago. The fact that we even have heated debates and viral fan wars now means the league is in the spotlight. Before Caitlin, the prevailing attitude was apathy from the general public. Now, suddenly everyone has an opinion on women's hoops. Sure, some of it has turned toxic, but that toxicity is the flip side of interest. Love it or hate it, people care. No one boos a nobody. The very presence of haters means people care. Before, if someone didn't like the WNBA, they'd just ignore it. Now, some of those people are actually watching games, even if it's partly to see what the hype is about, or to have ammo for an argument online. And you know what? I'll take a heated argument over indifference any day. At least those arguing are tuned in. It's actually almost comical. Those toxic new fans the player complained about?
With the boards. Long pass, perfect to Reese. She was unable.
Many of them openly admit, yeah, I never watched a WNBA game until Caitlin came along. They weren't paying attention before because in their view, the product wasn't compelling enough for them. Then this kind of stuff happened. Caitlin dropped a 40-point masterpiece in March Madness, and boom, they were hooked. Suddenly they care. And when they see something they don't like, say a player missing too many layups or a commentator taking a shot at their girl Caitlin, they're going to voice it loudly. Now that they've been drawn in, these fans are also discovering the rest of the league and holding it to the high standard of entertainment that Caitlin set for them. So if a game is slow or a star player has an off night, they'll be the first to jump on Twitter and say, this is why nobody watched before.
I genuinely think that it's a dumb question to answer. Like, oh, you do realize that these journalists are trying to get you to say negative stuff about Caitlin Clark because that's what gets more.
Brutal. Yeah. But to be fair, it's the same kind of ruthless commentary NBA players get from their fan bases. NBA Twitter isn't exactly known for its kindness. The WNBA is just getting its first real dose of that broader sports fan culture. And guess who else gets put under that microscope now? Angel Reese, the other half of this headline-grabbing duo. Angel is a marketing machine. She leans into the fame, talks trash, lives it up. But when you invite attention, you invite criticism too. So when Angel's game struggled at times, the trolls came for her just as hard. She's gotten flack for missed layups, for perceived attitude, you name it. Angel herself has admitted the hate has bothered her, even as she courts the spotlight. It's like you can't have one without the other. The reality is the bigger your star, the bigger the target on your back. You can't be a superstar adored by millions and not have a contingent that dislikes you sometimes for valid reasons, sometimes for completely stupid reasons, sometimes just because you're the it name and Twitter's gonna Twitter. So yeah, The WNBA atmosphere is more contentious now. More trolls, more feuds, more drama. But that's because it's more alive now.
That Bird Magic moment, if you recall, from 1979 when those two rookies came in from a big college rivalry, one white, one black. And so we have that moment with these two. But the one thing I know in sports, you need rivalry. That's what makes people watch.
The league is trending. Its players are in the national conversation. In a weird way, that's a win, even if it comes with headaches. But here's the kicker. The toxic attention this player is complaining about is the very thing that's going to lead to you're going to be playing in a 10,000 plus seat or stadium. You're going to be training very soon in state-of-the-art facilities. You can't separate the two. More attention equals more revenue equals bigger salaries and better opportunities. WNBA players have fought for charter flights, better marketing, higher pay. Well, guess what drives all that? Eyeballs and interest. And now they have it. Caitlin brought a tidal wave of interest that's making those things happen. By 2026...
That being said, you big dummies, you getting paid now.
Right.
Everybody now has an opportunity.
When the next CBA negotiations roll around, the pie will be a lot bigger. Every player, even those who never get a Caitlin-level spotlight, will likely get a raise because the league's profile and coffers have grown. And that growth is tied directly to this frenzy of attention, toxic or not. It's a package deal. Great popularity comes with great trolling. To paraphrase Spider-Man's uncle, if you want the perks, you endure the trolls. Ask any celebrity or superstar athlete. None of them would trade the fame and fortune just to avoid some randos yelling at them online. They learn to live with it. WNBA players are now entering that same realm of fame, and they'll adapt. So, what's the one thing those players could do to improve this situation? Besides, everyone chilling out a bit on Twitter. It's simple. Embrace the spotlight instead of resenting it. Embrace Caitlin Clark for what she is. The biggest walking advertisement for the WNBA right now. Instead of side-eyeing how much attention she gets, use it.
Looking to turn the corner, lays it in. It's a rip start here in the semifinals. Clark will fire, and hit from three.
Giant lineup inside.
Clark turns the corner.
If you're a player, realize that every time Caitlin draws a new fan to a game, that's a chance for that fan to discover you too. Maybe they come for Caitlin, but they'll see you drop 20 points or make a highlight reel block, and boom, you got a new fan as well. A rising tide lifts all boats, right? WNBA legend Lisa Leslie said it best. I think we have to understand that when one player eats, we all eat. And as we all get more opportunities, Lisa urged players to quit complaining and recognize that Caitlin's success is lifting everyone. More TV games, more sponsors, more fans and seats. She noted that Caitlin's been humble and team-oriented through it all, always sharing credit with teammates and paying homage to the legends who came before her. And Leslie emphatically added that they've never seen anything like this before. Teams needing bigger arenas, TV schedules expanding, all thanks to Caitlin's impact. So instead of feeling threatened by her, other players should take a page from her book. Use the influx of attention to showcase their games. Show fans why they should stick around for more than just Caitlin. If some loudmouth online says only Caitlin is worth watching, go out and drop a career high or pull off a jaw-dropping play that proves them wrong. Don't sulk, shine. The truth is, Caitlin's doing everything right off the court. She's humble. She's team first. She's consciously using her star power to boost her league, not just herself. How can you not respect that? Even as her legend grows, she remains about the game, not the fame. She deflects praise to her teammates and gives props to her opponents. She's even politely shut down talk that disrespects WNBA veterans. She gets it. Bottom line, the Caitlin Clark phenomenon is real, and it's spectacular for the WNBA. She's filling arenas and stat sheets with equal ease. Teams can call it a scheduling conflict when they move a game to a bigger arena, and players can grumble when there are more Caitlin fans at their home games when the Fever are in town, but she's the needle and essential to the league's future. The pain of growth, which is what players like Shakira are experiencing now, is likely preferable to the pain of being disrespected, not through attention, but apathy. So what do you think? Will WNBA players eventually embrace the Caitlin Clark effect, or will this back and forth keep raging? Let me know in the comments, and drop a basketball emoji to let me know your no in the comments. and drop a basketball emoji to let me know you're here. Thanks for watching.